I pull up at the curb. I love this park they train in. I must have walked the figure of 8 round its ovals hundreds of times. At dawn, in winter and summer, to throw the ball for Dozer, our red heeler. But he's buried now, in the backyard, under the crepe myrtle near the chook pen. The boy jumps out with his footy and trots away, bouncing it. Boy? Look at him. He's been playing with our suburban club since he was a tubby little 8-year-old. I've never paid more than token attention to his sporting life. But this year he's in the under-16s. The shoulders on him. He must be almost 6 feet tall. He's the youngest of my 3 grandchildren. The last. And there will be no more. At breakfast time I say, "Can I start coming to training?" "What? Why?" "I don't know. I've got no work. I'm burnt out. I don't know what to do with myself. I need something to write about." "You better ask the coach." "Who's the coach?" "We've got a new one. It's Archie." "What? The Archie we know? Isn't he only a boy? How old is he?" "About 20, says Amby's mum, who remembers important facts. "Can you be a coach when you're only 5 years older than the players?" Under an umbrella outside the cafe, tall and skinny, white T-shirt and baseball cap. Is that him? I come up behind him and he turns. Pale skin, bright blue eyes with black lashes, face-splitting grin, clever, funny, jumping out of his skin, ready to pick up a thought and go with it. "Footy," he says, "is the most hilariously unnatural sport, running backwards." He's at uni. He gets what I'm after. "Will I have to ask the club?" "Nah, just turn up." "What about the players?" "Helen, they're 15. They're boys. They won't care. And 5 minutes later they'll have forgotten you were even there. They're 15-year-old boys trying to be men." He tips back his head in a fit of laughter. All my life I've fought men, lived under their regimes, been limited and frustrated by their power. But in the first decade of the century, I became a grandmother to a girl and 2 boys, a hands-on nana who by some unimaginable miracle was invited to buy the house next door, knock down the fence and become part of family life. The girl and I understood each other at first glance. But having never raised a son, I now began to learn about boys and men from a fresh angle, to see their delicacy, their fragility, what they're obliged to do to themselves in order to live in this world, the codes of behaviour they've had to develop in order to discipline and sublimate their drive to violence. The pandemic came. Melbourne copped more lockdowns than any other city in the nation. That's when footy really got a grip on me. It made me feel lucky to be alive. I learnt that when the chips are down, football rises. I saw that it's a kind of poetry, an ancient common language between strangers, a set of shared hopes and rules and images, of arcane rites played out at regular intervals before the citizenry. It revives us. It sustains us. In a time of fear and ignorance, it holds us above the abyss. And I started to glimpse what is grand and noble and admirable and graceful about men. But I keep quiet about this because I don't want people to think I'm romanticising it or to reproach me for not writing about women's footy. And I have to admit that, more than anything, this is about me and my grandson. Now that I've reached the age at which my mother died demented, now that my hearing and my eyesight are packing up and I can feel my memory starting to lose its grip, I need a reason to be near him in the last years of his childhood. I want to know him better before it's too late, to learn what's in his head, what drives him, to see what he's like when he's out in the world, when he's away from his family, which I am part of. So in order to learn about his other life, I'm going to have to find a way to efface myself, to become a silent witness.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.